is a lot of programs out here that teach you for free how to open a business. Like, study. Don't just say this is a good idea, and do your homework.
Hmm.
Make sure you have a business plan. Make sure you understand, where you're going to get your capital from. And
Hmm.
again, there's a lot of programs that will help you develop that. The
Hmm.
other thing is, for me, this is a very high carrying cost
Hmm.
business because you got to have a little bit of everything.
Right.
So we need to understand that as well. Just going into it, um, make sure you have enough capital to be able to support inventory, because that's the one thing that I see with black owned businesses is that it's difficult to compete
Hmm.
with the store down the street.
Polish in my hand, I'm ready to create each nail a masterpiece. I can hardly wait. Soft pastels or vibrant hues, each tells a tale in their artistry of nails. Nothing ever fails. With each swirl and twirl, let the magic begin in this kingdom of gloss. There's no end to the wind. Gloss on my fingertips, watch them shine bright. Painted like a canvas, colors taking flight. Feeling fierce and fabulous, I'm ready to ignite. Slaying the nail game every single night. Nails and beauty talk with Asia the Bird. Nails and beauty talk with Asia the Bird.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. Today, we have a very special guest with us today. She is the founder of Total Glamour Beauty Supply. Please welcome Tara Smith. Hello, Tara, and how are you?
Fine. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing absolutely well. I want to go ahead and get started by asking where you're originally from and tell us a little about your upbringing, like where you're from and things like that.
Absolutely. So I'm a proud, born and raised in the city of Detroit. The D is my home, and I absolutely love it.
Hmm.
Um, I also went to Detroit Public School System.
Hmm.
So, and after that, I actually have a engineering degree from Western Michigan University. So I spent 20 years in the automotive industry.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I guess this is my second career.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's really, really incredible.
Yes. Pretty much. I have not left the Metro Detroit area. So
Yeah.
again, proud Detroiter.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, most definitely. So I want to talk about your school experience. So what was like your school experience like growing up, in terms of grade school, college, beauty school, possibly things like that?
Okay. So I'd say I had a pretty much a normal kind of child rearing. I had both parents, and
Hmm.
um, I was one of those, as I tell my kids, nerd today, your boss tomorrow. So I spent a lot of time in, achieving good grades. Um, and then from there, I graduated from Redford High School. And from there, I went off to college. But I'd say it was a pretty, mid class
Hmm.
lifestyle.
Oh, okay. What college did you go to?
I went to Western Michigan University in Kalamazoo.
Like what did you study in terms of being there?
Industrial engineering is what I got a degree in. So I've always loved math and science. And
Hmm.
yep, I got my degree in industrial engineering.
Oh, wow, that's really, really cool. I want to get into as far as just in terms of beauty. So what were like your earliest memories about beauty, and was there anyone that you knew that was in the beauty industry, maybe, possibly?
So that's funny. The answer is almost no. There was not anyone that I knew in the beauty industry. I tell people when they ask me, well, why did you decide a beauty supply store? And I say, well, that was God's joke. Because I truly have an entrepreneur spirit. So
Hmm.
I knew that I wanted to own something.
Right. Hmm.
The fact that I fell in the beauty industry, God has a sense of humor.
Hmm.
Um, My earliest memories, to be honest, and it kind of goes full circle because my earliest memories of the beauty industry is when I was in middle school and I had a hair
Mm-hmm.
girl, like a lot of other people did, and I would go to the beauty supply stores to get my chemicals.
Right.
And the
Mm-hmm.
at that time when I was in middle school, all the beauty supply stores were black owned in
Mm-hmm.
the Detroit area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's probably my earliest memories going to Maro's beauty supply store. The interesting thing is when I opened up my first beauty supply store in Southfield, there was this
Mm-hmm.
older gentleman that walked through my store because he was or came in my store to sell products.
Right.
And he told me his name was Mr. Morrow, and I just fell out and treated him like royalty because I remember him, and we now
Right.
have the best relationship now.
Mm-hmm.
But I do. I'm like, oh, you what I want to be, kind of deal. So yeah, so we work together now. So that's probably my first memory of, the beauty industry. I've always been one to get my hair done every week and sleep kind of cute because didn't really know how to do my hair. But I think the biggest thing for me is remembering that they were all black owned. Like now they're predominantly Asian owned in the
Yeah.
Metro Detroit area.
Mm, right, absolutely, and that's the very interesting thing about the beauty industry. Like it without Black culture, especially Black American culture, the beauty industry, especially the nail industry, wouldn't be where it is today.
Correct.
And the thing is that like even with me growing up, I would get my hair done at the salon, getting it braided, and
Mhm.
things like that. I still get my hair done, like get it cut and stuff like that. Go to a barber, and the salon culture is a part of Black culture, and
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
the amazing thing, it ranges from not just having your hair done, but having conversations, connecting with each other in the community. That's the beauty of, just the beauty industry is looking good and feeling good, but also talking to people that have the same story as you.
I would say that that's probably one of like you said, going to get your hair done is a whole experience. Wasn't always about me going to get my hair done. It
Hmm.
was I worked 40, 60 hours a week in corporate
Hmm.
America, and I was excited about Thursday night because I get to relax. I get to talk to the people because it was the same clientele every Thursday night, so we kind of
Right.
built a relationship. I had a good time at the beauty. It was like it was my going out kind of thing.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
no different than the movies and barbershop and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to get into as far as your beauty supply business called Total Glamour Beauty Supply. So tell us the whole story about, what made you decide to have your own beauty supply store.
I think I hinted at it a little bit, but I will tell you the details. So I was actually still working at as an engineer when I
Hmm.
decided that I wanted to open a beauty supply store, and it kind of just hit me one night. Again, I say it's God's joke because I'm laying in the bed and I think I was scrolling, and I happened to come across a video of this lady getting beat down because,
Mm.
like, she stole something because somebody thought she stole something.
Hmm.
Customer service is important to me.
Right.
And right then
Absolutely.
and there, I thought my community deserves better than that. Like
Absolutely.
we really deserve to be treated better than that. And I'm the kind
Hmm.
of person that if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem.
Hmm.
So that night
Absolutely.
I started looking up, okay, so what is this beauty industry and is it something that I can get into?
Right.
And all of the things that I learned, I just continued on my journey, and I actually was able to open a beauty supply store. The funny thing is, I had to learn from ground up because, as I said, I didn't necessarily have that background. I'm an engineer, but
Right.
I'm also a student for life.
Hmm.
So I went to school and actually probably did about 200 hours just studying. How to properly open and successfully run a beauty supply store.
Hmm.
Um, I do tell I tell people, and because it's true, that before I owned a beauty supply store, I probably went in about 4 or 5 times as an adult.
Mm.
I'm more of a naturalist, and again, like I said, I went to the hairdresser once a week, so I really didn't have
Right.
a huge need to go. But
Hmm.
that is what kind of sparked my journey. It was watching that video and saying, okay, enough is enough, and my community deserves better. And what can I do to provide that?
Absolutely, most definitely, totally. So, what are some of the items that you sell in your beauty supply store?
Um, we sell, of course, all the chemicals, the shampoos, the leave-ins. I sell
Hmm.
wigs. I sell human hair, crochet hair, braiding hair. We have makeup, some skincare products. I do try to focus on black-owned products. So as much as I can, I stock my store with black-owned products. We also support the community, which is kind of big for me.
Hmm.
So we have like local vendors that don't
Hmm.
necessarily have a brick and mortar. They, maybe do pop-up shops and things like that. They come in and partner with us so that they have
Wow.
a spot for their uh, products as well.
Mm. Yeah, that's absolutely really, really good that, you're supporting the community as well, while having a business, because I think that's very, very important. And I definitely want you to talk more about like how important is it for any business person, especially, a black owned business owner that has a beauty supply store to really support the community.
So that goes back to a part of why I do it, because I look at the other beauty supply stores and how much money that we spend there, and they don't support our community. But
Right.
we're
Yeah.
the customer. 95% of the people that come into the store are, Black people in the area and in the urban beauty supply stores.
Hmm.
And so that's why it was very important to me. And I'm just that person. I give back. I belong to a service sorority. So that's
Right.
always at the forefront to me.
Hmm.
So if our dollar has to circulate.
Right. Absolutely.
So if I have my customers coming in spending with me, then those dollars are going to help benefit the community. I try to shop black as well.
Absolutely, most definitely. Now, I want to get into as far as in terms of the journey of building your beauty supply store business. So, what were some of the setbacks that you faced while developing your business?
I will tell you that a very common setback of trying to open a beauty supply store is it's hard to get the major vendors.
Hmm.
So a lot of the vendors, and I think that is part of the reason, like I spoke about, somebody that I knew that owned a beauty supply store in the 80s and 90s. A part of what happened was the hair came in
Hmm.
and the hair became really big. Well, hair comes from overseas. That
Hmm.
whole pipeline is, a different community than us.
Right. Hmm.
And they, I won't say they work really hard, I'll be careful, but they do keep us out because
Right.
they make a lot of money
Right.
on our hair care products.
Hmm.
I tell people the story about how I go up to a place in Chicago to
Hmm.
pick up hair products, and the whole community was built off of urban beauty supply stores, and it's a beautiful community.
Hmm.
But it's not us.
Right.
So that I would say is the biggest obstacle is getting major vendors
Hmm.
and getting the products that my people want. But I
Hmm.
have had times when I have a vendor that is selling me chemicals, and then I do research and find out, oh, they're the same people that provide this hair. And I call and say, hey, can I? Oh, no, we don't sell that. Well, yes,
Mm.
you do. Oh, no, we don't sell that. That's a different division. And you have to go over here. And then it's difficult to get vendors. So that's probably, and then the other part of it is just capital.
Right.
A lot of times when we start something, we're starting it, with our own funding, and
Right.
it's challenging to get access to capital.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely, most definitely, and I think that's the common thing, with black owned business, building and expanding is the access to capital.
Hmm.
Also, too, is like how you said with vendors as well too. Because I've heard of stories. I've interviewed this one black woman. She has her own beauty supply store called My Shade and Texture, And she even talked about, the difficulties that she faced, especially with building her business. And, she dealt with people like circling around the block to intimidate her and things like that.
Mhm.
And so it goes to show, like, and the beauty industry is majority Asian ran. You know what I
Correct.
mean? In
Yep,
terms
they
of
own
like
their own whole pipeline. So
the
then
whole
there's
pipeline. Yeah.
benefits that they get that we don't get. There's, that they get product dropped off to them, and then they have terms of to pay it back. We don't get those benefits.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. It's the lack of access to resources or access to those things to sell, and especially not only with like the hair and stuff, but also the nails. A lot of nail products come from Asia. So,
Mhm.
that's the entire thing. So the beauty industry is majority ran by Asians, and they profit the most from
Mhm.
us.
Yep, we're the consumers though, which is why they
Yeah.
try to keep us out, because they
Yeah.
profit the most from us.
Yeah, they profit the most from us. Absolutely, most definitely. So I want to get into as far as in regards to tariffs. So there has been talk surrounding tariffs and how it'll impact the beauty industry. Including beauty businesses, beauty supply stores. So what is your perspective as far as tariffs and how they affect the beauty supply store side of the beauty industry?
And definitely, as we talked about, all of the hair comes from overseas. So when
Hmm.
they impose those tariffs, our prices definitely go up. I feel the impact now, to be honest with you. I got my first product that I purchased that somebody told me, look at the back of it and see if it's made in China. It's actually BTO braiding gel.
Mm,
Um, the cost went up $3. So I can no longer sell it for what I was selling it for,
mm,
because
mhm.
I'm basically paying that price to get it. So I'm
Wow.
going to have to raise that cost up, which I think is ridiculous. The other thing that has happened, and this is a part of this, I guess, ties in with going back to access to capital.
Hmm.
So as even today, as I try to call my vendors to get like hair, they
Hmm.
don't have any, because what
Mm,
happened is the whole Asian community knew the tariffs were coming. So everything that was on this side of the ocean, they bought up before the prices hiked. And
hmm.
that's because they had money in the bank to be able to do that.
Hmm.
Well, I'm assuming.
Hmm.
So that there would be just an immediate way that the tariffs, or even the threat of tariffs, are starting
Mm,
to impact at least my beauty supply. And I'm just waiting for the hammer to drop of everything going up, which of course that means that the prices that the consumers pay will go up as well.
mm. Yeah, absolutely. So, for anyone who wants to open up their own beauty supply store, what would be some important business tips that you could give?
Mm, so I would say there is a lot of programs out here that teach you for free how to open a business. Like, study. Don't just say this is a good idea, and do your homework.
Hmm.
Make sure you have a business plan. Make sure you understand, where you're going to get your capital from. And
Hmm.
again, there's a lot of programs that will help you develop that. The
Hmm.
other thing is, for me, this is a very high carrying cost
Hmm.
business, because you got to have a little bit of everything.
Right.
So we need to understand that as well. Just going into it, um, make sure you have enough capital to be able to support inventory, because that's the one thing that I see with black owned businesses, is that it's difficult to compete
Hmm.
with the store down the street.
Hmm. I want to get into as far as just with beauty products. So, what are some of your favorite beauty products or brands that you like to use for your hair and skin?
Um, so I try to stay natural.
Hmm.
So I use things like shea butter,
Hmm.
black soap. Again, I don't do God's joke. I don't wear a lot of makeup. I'm pretty much a natural person. I get my hair done, so I put some oil in it, and that's about it. I don't use a whole lot of my products,
Hmm.
just because the my hair. But um, I do recommend. Like I love Design Essentials. That would
Hmm.
be probably my favorite product line. I just love the quality of Design Essentials, and I love what they stand for.
Mhm. Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. I want to get into as far as the next question. So, coming from a business owner point of view, what is your take of the current state of the beauty industry? And do you think that Black people are credited enough for the contributions to the beauty industry?
Um, so the answer to your last question is no.
Hmm.
But I'll tell you, so I get excited to see all of the Black-owned beauty supply stores starting to pop up across the
Hmm.
nation. It seems like we're getting more into the business. What
Right.
I want to make sure that we know, that our community knows, is that we have to support them. If we want them to stay, then we have to support them. If they don't have everything you're looking for, go in and buy it. Because when we don't support them, um, then they have to exit the market. And that's not what we're looking to do. We're looking to grow.
Right.
Um, and as far as, so just an example of support, when I was actually in class,
Hmm.
February 28th, and I don't watch, I'm a business owner, so I'm forever just have my head down. I don't watch much TV. And
Right.
um,
Hmm. Yeah, that's
I,
understandable.
I wasn't aware that there was this Buy Black Day, February 28th. So
Hmm.
I'm in class and I'm looking at my numbers and I'm like, what the heck is going on? For the whole month of March, people intentionally shopped with me. It was very intentional. And that allowed me to purchase more products. Now, at the beginning of March, I didn't have as much, but because they came in and bought what I had, it allowed me to bring more boxes through the store. So that's
Hmm.
important. Like, we got to stick with that. We got to stick with being intentional, because
Right.
then that's how we grow.
Hmm.
Instead of saying, well, they don't have it and I'm not going there. You got to give everybody an opportunity to grow.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
absolutely, most definitely, and I definitely agree with what you're saying. It's definitely giving everyone an opportunity to grow, like and I think especially within the climate that we're in today, is a critical time, if anything, to support each other.
absolutely,
It's very very critical and vital, if anything.
we got to get
I
that
think
right.
definitely with the beauty industry, definitely the beauty industry, especially the nail industry, doesn't give us enough credit. As far as the contributions to like I said, I think earlier. Just as far as the trends we set in the beauty and nail industry. You know what I mean? And the thing is that without us, without Black people, especially Black American people, the industry wouldn't be where it is today. As far as the hair trends, the hairstyles, the colored wigs, and the hair books, and the
Hmm.
nail art styles and stuff like that. So
Absolutely, and all of the inventions that we do not
yeah,
get credit for. Like, we're very um, good at coming up with solutions to our problems, and then
right.
somebody else gets the credit for it.
Mm. Yeah, right, right, absolutely. We've created a lot of inventions,
Oh, definitely.
and the other people take the credit and things like that, and that's always it's just unfortunate. But
Mhm.
I like how despite all those things, and people know in history who did it first. We did it first. And the
Mhm.
thing is that like we rise up despite being hoodwinked, being taken, our work being stolen from and things like that. We still build.
Yeah, and I appreciate you, because we've got to tell our own story,
Right.
and we've got to keep the story going so that we know our history and we don't let anybody manipulate it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, most definitely, and that's why I like what people such as yourself, really building and getting into the beauty supply business, because that's something we definitely need. And
Mhm.
definitely about with my platform, with my podcast, I want to highlight people that look like us. You know what I mean? That are
Mhm.
in different sectors of beauty. It's not just like the nail techs, the nail artists, and things like that. I want to what's going on in the beauty supply side, what's going on in the hair salon side, and things like that. So it's definitely important to, have our own platforms as well to really highlight each other.
Yep, I agree. So I'd like to thank you for this opportunity, and for you taking this podcast to reach other people.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to get into the next question. So, how do you balance being a business owner with life and mental health?
I don't. Short answer. I was gonna say I drink, but that ain't cool. I will say, but this has been a career issue for me just because
Hmm.
I was a functioning engineer. I spent a bunch of time at work and overseas launching programs. I don't have a good balance.
Mm,
The good thing that helps me, I think, now is that my kids are over the age of 20,
hmm.
so I don't there isn't anybody at home that really needs me or waiting on me. So working till 8, 9 o'clock at night and going to bed and doing it over again
Right.
is not a big deal for me. What I do is I try to take, when possible, um, un- unapologetically, I have a day where I do nothing.
Hmm.
So on Sundays, a lot of times, I just sit in my room and I might watch movies all day, or I just try to relax, and
Right.
it's difficult because I'm like, oh, all of these hours I could have done something, but
Yeah.
I try to give myself some grace and say, yeah, you got to rest too.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think that, there's times where, even with myself, like sometimes I'm hard on myself and things like that. And, and definitely it's understanding to utilize time the best you can,
Mhm.
and things of that nature. But I think also too, it's learning to, how you said about the whole thing of grace, where it's like, it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to, take a step back and say, hey, let me just kind of stop and things like that. And, especially with being, with me as a creative, it takes time to build ideas or create ideas for like a work of art and things like that before you jump into it and things like, or just like with anything. I think
Yeah,
definitely grace is very, very important, um,
it's a
and really taking breaks and spending time for yourself and helping yourself heal, emotionally and mentally, especially physically too. Because I think health is very important. That's how work ethic is maintained is if you take care of yourself.
yes, and I get, like, I hate to keep beating it in the head, but grace is important. As Black women, we give everybody grace except for our own selves.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And so we have to start doing that for ourselves.
Absolutely, most definitely. Last but not least, where can people find you on social media, and how can people support Total Glamour Beauty Supply?
I am on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, and I'm on Facebook, and it's TG Beauty.
Hmm.
Is my handle on those sites, or if you can just search Total Glamour Beauty Supply. And I would be remiss not to mention my other beauty supply store in Highland Park. It is also on Instagram. It's Evolve Beauty Supply. So
Oh
if
wow!
your listeners could follow me, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. This is absolutely a great conversation. Thank you so much, Tara, for jumping on.
Thank you.
I really love your story. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your experience, your insight as far as being in the beauty supply sector of the beauty industry. Definitely, I like how Black women are owning more beauty supply stores, but also
Yeah.
the thing also too is having beauty schools too.
Yes.
Beauty and nail schools too as
Yes.
well. I wish you the best of luck with everything and just thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And you have a blessed day.
Yes, absolutely. Take care. Bye
Okay. Bye.
bye. Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care, stay healthy, and stay beautiful. Bye bye.